We're in and we're live. And look, I've managed to convince Mary for one time. Maybe I'll be able to convince her depending on how well this goes. But I've managed to convince Mary to come in with me today and offer a bit of a different perspective to anyone who's watching this channel who maybe is newer to training, who maybe wants to pick up some tips from a newer runner, because we obviously have very different opinions on things and we have very different experiences. So I thought it would be good to get Mary on board. And are you reading the comments already? Yeah. Mary's fascinated by how this all works because she hears me jabbering on upstairs every Thursday while she's downstairs. Obviously, as you know, if you follow the channel, usually cooking a lovely Thursday dinner.
Yeah, what are we going to do?
I don't know. Yeah, there's no one to cook the dinner. Winnie, maybe? No, I don't fancy her. I don't fancy our chances. So we have a few questions already. We've been asked a few questions in the lead up to this because we put it out there on YouTube yesterday that Mary was coming on, and does anybody have any questions? And there was a few, some really good questions that you can answer.
Questions.
We'll say hello to a few people away. Rob, Sean, Winona, all there. Yeah, takeaway is a good shout. I think I can tell you what we are having if you're actually interested. We're having meatball and edamame bean stir fry with rice.
Takeaway tomorrow.
Takeaway is Friday. That's our takeaway Friday cheat day. So it's been an interesting week. Mary, you've been back on it, haven't you?
Yeah, really getting back into the groove with my running, which is great after feeling like I was stalling since the marathon in February.
Well, you did. Yeah. So what happened with Mary is, if you don't follow the channel just yet, Mary ran a marathon in Seville in February. Ran 3:36, wasn't it? Yeah, 3:36. Yeah. Basically got overexcited like most people do in their first ever marathons and went out too hard. And
I was loving life and just flying.
And blew up at the end. But we learned. That's how we learn. You can't be told these things. It was no good me telling Mary to stick to a pace, genuinely stick to a pace, because the adrenaline of a race takes over.
I knew what I had to do.
But you didn't do it.
But it was just, I didn't appreciate the distance until I'd covered most of it.
Are you looking in the camera, by the way?
Yeah,
I haven't checked. I haven't
to.
checked. Mary's got this thing where she looks at the screen instead of the camera, and it sometimes looks a bit weird when we're trying to put videos together.
I'm trying.
So after the marathon, what happened was what happened was Mary developed some kind of niggle in her knee, and it really hindered your running, didn't it?
Yeah, well, basically, I think I had a bit of a break from running, just like a couple of weeks.
Yeah, you needed that.
I was so tired, but I didn't know if it was the marathon or extra workload that I've had. And then I just couldn't quite get back into the rhythm. And then my knee went.
Yeah,
funny.
So it's been a bit of a weird one because we tend to at least have an idea where our injuries come from. I think most people are like that. You can feel a moment where you tweaked something, or perhaps when you've upped your mileage quite quickly, or in my case, the plantar fasciitis was caused probably by a tight Achilles, which was caused by a cut. You can work everything back. But in Mary's case, it actually came after a rest. And that's what we couldn't figure out. You were just getting a lot of pain, weren't you, in your running after you'd actually come out of the other side of the marathon. And it was really frustrating you. I didn't know how to help other than to manage it, up the strength and conditioning, set you foam rolling in the evenings and things like that.
But now I think I know what it was.
Oh, go on. Have you actually shared this with me?
Yeah, I think so.
Go on.
So I think where I've been working longer hours, and like since we've been working during lockdown at home, I think I've got a knot in my back. Like I've hurt my back on the right-hand side, and it's caused tightness all down the right-hand side of my body. And it's the knee pain, I think, was from just tightness all the way up, and even some in my Achilles. So I think it's my whole right side from the back.
It's funny, isn't it? The kinetic chain is an unbelievable thing. And if you're watching this and you're injured, as I said in the video on Sunday, I mean, a large percentage of the time where your injury is presenting, where the pain is usually not the area that is causing it, if that makes sense. My foot pain was almost certainly caused by a really dodgy calf, by a really tight calf. And I have absolutely beasted it this week. Like, I've battered it with my hands, cross friction massage. I've gone to town with we bought this percussion massager. Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Actually, we bought a percussion massager, and I've done everything, and the pain has gone away, and my calves feel so much better. So now I just need to strengthen it. Do you want to grab my phone, because we can answer some of the questions that people have asked you? Foot pain is gone. Thank you very much. Thanks for asking. Yeah, it has gone, and I went on Zwift yesterday and got through an hour with no pain. I was kind of doing it. You possibly get the same, but when you exercise just after an injury, you feel the injury, whether the injury's not there or whether it's there or not. It's a really frustrating. You second guess yourself, and I was cycling thinking, oh God, am I doing it more damage? But I got off absolutely fine, so I'm really happy. Hello, Ryan, by the way, as well. Now, some questions that Mary has been asked over the past couple of days that people want to know the answers to. Now, are you ready, Mary?
Mm-hmm.
Can you remember any of them while I try and find them? Oh, I've got them. I'm here. Okay. So, questions. Mary, have you tried using a number 1 on Ben's head? Sean.
No.
That was Sean. No, not allowed.
I think you could have a 1.
But we're not here to talk about my hair.
Bottom. I'll give it a go next time.
He's trying his luck. He's trying to get you to shave my head. So Lana asked, would love to know if you've got a favourite race distance, and when do you like to do your training? Did you prefer to train before or after work?
Oh, I saw this one and I was thinking about it today, and I don't know what my favourite is. Like, I've done most 10Ks, probably 5Ks.
I don't know.
But there was something about the marathon that was so special, like the feeling, because any race is exciting, I think, but there was something about lining up with these people, knowing, and then like when the race started, it was like, we're running a marathon. So I think there's something so special. It was the most painful race and most hideous recovery, but there was just magic in the air.
Do you know what I like? Marathon is my favourite distance. And do you know why?
Why?
Is because it is definitely a blend of physical and mental. Whereas 5K, although there is some mental element, it's just, can your body withstand that running hard for 5K? 10K is the same. Can you hold on? Half marathon a little bit more, but I still find that's more physical. But marathon is very much a mixture game. It's like that battle between mind and body. Can you win it? It's great. I love the feeling of a marathon.
Yeah.
You've just been asked if you've ever done a triathlon as well.
I have. I've done 2 actually. When did I do them? Maybe 2016, I think. What year did we go to Bali?
I don't know. It was a few years ago, maybe 4 years ago.
4 years ago, I did 2 sprint triathlon. Well, I did 1 in the first year and then 1 in the second year. And then
I nearly had her. I was that close. I was like, and then she was like, you know what? I don't like cycling.
I did okay. And it was
You did really well.
But I don't love cycling.
Yet. No? Okay. Next question. Mary, how often do you wash your hair? I find it hard to balance sweaty hair versus drying out from washing it too much.
It's a very good question. Not
for men.
At the moment, I'm in a really good routine because I'm basically running every other day. So I just wash my hair after the run every other day. But when I was running more, I probably would, because my hair's quite short, I can wash it every day if I need to.
That comprehensive enough? Yeah?
Yeah. You didn't answer the first one fully because it said about what time do you like running?
when do you like to train? I think we're probably both the same in that respect. Go on.
My ideal is morning.
Yeah, it's getting up. There's a balance as well of getting up, and it is hard and it's not pleasant. And sometimes when you're training before breakfast, you're a bit like, ugh. But that being said, the moment you finish that session, I always find your day is just on another level.
Yeah.
In comparison to if you didn't, and then you try and train in the evening. There's a trade-off there, isn't there? But if you can force yourself to train, the feeling is so much better for the rest of the day. It impacts your day more if you train in the morning than it does in the evening.
Yeah, you feel like you're winning the day and you haven't even had breakfast. Like you've smashed it.
Smashed it before breakfast. Oh look, hello, people are dropping in.
I
Hi
mean,
Richard. Hi Rob.
Like I do like evening runs in the summer sometimes.
Rob, I'm pretty sure you meant to call us guys instead of gays. I mean, we don't mind, but we are man and woman, so
We're happy.
Yeah, hi Mike from Sweden. Oh hi, yes, I think we talked the other day. Have you tried adding a little ginger and turmeric into your tea and 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar into a glass of water at night for inflammation?
Do you know what? That's funny because somebody did recommend that to me years ago for something else. You know, they give that to racehorses, turmeric.
Yeah, turmeric's having a bit of a renaissance at the moment, isn't it? There's
but
a few
it is
products.
Anti-inflammatory.
Yeah, it flashes up on my Facebook feed quite a lot.
Ginger and turmeric in your tea.
Ginger and turmeric in your tea and 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Hello, Anna, as well, and Yasin. And so Richard's asking, what's the longest distance you've both run in a training week? Do you know what? Go on. I don't run that much because, as you probably have gathered, my body is held together by crumbly biscuits. So I think my biggest month ever was something like 180 kilometers. So only just over 100 miles in a month. I try, because I'm not strictly a runner, I'm a triathlete. I only really ever run 3 times a week, no more than that. You've probably done more. You looking it up?
Yeah, that's per week. So
I'll just talk while Mary's fannying around. Mary, would you like to answer this question? So Melissa is asking you this question. Is there a race you dream to do? And is there a place that you haven't been in the world and you want to go? Hi, Barry.
That is an awesome question. Okay, so I would say... What?
Matt's saying, it's very nice to see you because, no offense, but we see me all the time.
Yeah, I know how you feel.
Yeah. In fact, the video this Sunday is going to be about Mary, just to give you all a breather from me.
So New York Marathon was like huge. And then when we got into that was so exciting. So probably marathon wise, I'd love to do New York and London. And that hopefully will happen. But there's one race that I'm desperate to do. Do you know which one I'm going to say?
Guess.
The Midnight Sun.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Which is this race in Norway, and it's on like the 21st of June or that weekend, and you basically start the marathon at at 8 p.m. and then everybody finishes at around midnight, and it's like a big party, and it's like
yeah, it must feel very weird running a marathon in the evening when it stays light. It's just a head screwer in the best possible way. I make an amazing video as well, I think.
Yeah, so. That we've got to do that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, so no, don't worry, Matt. I know you're joking. It's all good, buddy.
Oh, and I really want to do some kind of run in California. Like I've just got
I just want to live in California. If anyone's watching this and can just hook us up for life so that we don't have to work again, just hit us up. And Rob says his dream race is the San Francisco Marathon. Is that a hill? I know San Francisco is hilly, but is the marathon hilly or does it stay near the shoreline? How does that work? Because I went for a run in San Francisco a few years ago. So we ran to Mrs. Doubtfire's house. It was awesome.
It was really good, but it's so hilly.
Yeah. So, Sean, Melissa's in Banff in Canada. Try that for what?
A race.
A race. Is it a race? Is Melissa's a race in Canada, in Banff? I mean, it doesn't sound nice. I know Banff is a ski resort, so it doesn't sound like it's going to be my kind of race. It sounds like it's going to be a...
and was it about what is our favourite race we've ever done?
What's our favourite race we've ever done?
I know I've done distance, but the pancake run in Florida is like my special.
We could all do that race this year, by the way. If you fancy doing the pancake run, which is in a town called Celebration, you can't actually necessarily do it in Celebration, but I got too much spit in my mouth there. You can do the race virtually this year, so maybe it's a lovely charity to support as well, isn't it? And It's a really cool race and they're really cool people and we like to give back to them every year. So if you want to do the pancake run, the celebration 10K, I think it's called Pancake Run, find it on Facebook and we could all do that this year. I mean, I've won it the last 3 years. I do not hold out any hope of winning it this year. I'm not stupid enough to think I will. I've been lucky the last 3 years, but this year with everyone being able to do it virtually, like go and find a track and stuff, I don't stand a hope.
But they also, if you love a good medal, they do the best medals.
They do amazing medals and pancakes from IHOP afterwards, which is like, that's why you run, right? So let's have a look at some other questions. Where did we meet? Not necessarily a running question. And if you've got questions and you're watching this, please ask us about training, about Mary's, how she's trained over the last few years and how she built up to marathon distance, because that's what we'll touch on as well. But if you want to know specifics, then ask away. We actually met at work. So we're both teachers and I was a trainee teacher at the time. And oh, look, hello. We'll give you an update on Winnie in a minute, by the way, as well, because we've had the results of her hearing back. But we met at work, basically. I was a trainee teacher and Mary was the head of dance at a secondary comprehensive school. And that was it, wasn't it, really? That was nearly 14 years ago.
Across a crowded staff room.
Across a crowded staff room. Mary thought I was one of the work experience chaps. Big race called Melissa's, the biggest race in Canada. Oh, okay, I never heard of it. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I'd love
Alex is on. There he goes. Hello,
Yay.
mate. So little update on Winnie, if you're even bothered, or I will be quick because it's obviously not a training one, but our little pup is officially pretty much deaf. Sadly, we had all the tests done on Tuesday. She had to be sedated and knocked out and given an electrode test and then a CT scan. And yeah, she's got no hearing in her right ear and minimal in her left. But you're happy, aren't you?
She's in good spirits.
We're going to teach her sign language. So we're actually good. And as long as there's nothing causing it and we've still got a healthy doggo, then we're happy. And she's switched on enough to learn sign language. So we just have to be careful when we're running around roads and stuff like that. Now, let's talk about, oh, hi, Vanessa. How are you? Loch Ness Marathon. Yeah, I do fancy going to Loch Ness, actually. That's long been something that I'd like to have done or like to do and go to.
Yeah.
So, Mary, I want to ask you a few questions about your husband. No, about your journey in running, because when you first started, you weren't really able to get past the 5K mark for a long time, were you?
Yeah.
Maybe I thought it might be helpful for people that are watching the channel that are maybe newer to running and are building up to those distances. What were the types of things going through?
Sorry, Winnie's licking my feet.
Winnie's trying to lick Mary's feet while we're talking. What were some of the kind of things that you went through that you thought about, and how did you eventually break through that kind of plateau?
Oh, so I kept getting pain when I was running, and I couldn't get really beyond 5K. So I think the main thing was going for a run analysis, and I found that I was crossing over my feet slightly. So then I had to work on keeping my feet parallel under my hips and just maintaining that proper technique. What else was I doing? I was basically shuffling. So just working on kicking up my feet and pulling through, just basic technique stuff.
You'd never done strength and conditioning in your life either, really. Not in the running sense. You were a dance teacher who did a lot of strength in that sense, and Pilates and yoga and whatever, but you didn't do like specific running things, did you? I don't think.
Yeah, so I think just figuring out my technique.
And what happened once you got past the 5K?
What do you mean?
Well, how did you feel? What did you do after that? Did you still stay around 5K, or did you move on quite quickly?
I think
it's difficult to interview this one.
Well, I aimed for a 10K because I wanted to set myself some goals to have some personal achievement. So I decided to do a 10K, which was the pancake run. So that was my first ever 10K. 1.5 years ago, and then I was just loving it. And I think it's not it doesn't happen straight away, but once you start to get into a rhythm and feel good, then the endorphin hit when you're training and improving is just brilliant. And then I was like, oh, try and do a half marathon. And then
it's seeing improvement, isn't it? It's watching improvement and a personal improvement, and not comparing yourself to anyone else is such a good way to train.
Yeah.
We have a couple of questions. So if you train on beta blockers, your heart rate never goes above 130, however hard you train. So you're in zone 2 or 3 all of the time. Does it affect lactic acid in your blood? That's a really interesting one, actually. That's a really, really interesting question, because what you're saying is that although you're training super hard, but your heart rate can't rise. So are you building up more lactic acid that your pulse rate can't remove because it's restricted? And I would say, yeah. I mean, I don't know enough about beta blockers and how they work under training, and does it restrict the intensity that you can train as well? Or is it just the heart rate? In which case, you would probably be building up lactic acid faster than someone whose pulse rate can go higher, because you need a higher pulse rate to circulate enough oxygen in the blood to remove the lactic acid. Does that make sense?
Mm.
So I don't know the answer to your question. I would suggest that you would find it more difficult at higher intensity to remove lactic acid. And it's like, yes, you're right. It is almost like a false zone 2 training, because you're able to put the intensity in, but the heart rate not rise. But at the same time, your body has this kill switch, if you like, that if you're not getting the amount of oxygen that you need to clear the lactic acid, it reduces the intensity for you without you don't have a say in it. It just goes, you have to shut down there.
Alex knows.
Oh, and Alex will be in the same boat. So you can't actually increase the intensity to build up the lactic acid in the first place if your heart rate is the restrictor straight away. The beta blocker keeps your heart rate down, but that also then keeps your intensity down and stops you from being able to train harder, because it knows that it wouldn't be able to remove the lactic acid fast enough. I think that's
exactly.
But makes perceived effort go through the roof. That must be horrible. I'm so sorry to hear that, but that must be really hard.
Yeah.
Like the effort levels go up feeling like it is, but they don't actually.
Yeah.
Oof, that's tough stuff. Karma Yogi, you had a boom in your motivation levels and volumes went up, and now it plummeted. Why do you think that is? Like, tell me in the comments why you think the motivation levels have gone after the boom. Is it a bit like the excitement, it's boom or bust, rather than the gradual? I did a video on Tuesday about the 10% rule. Do you follow that? Because it tends to be that if you do smash it for a few weeks way above what you usually do, there will be a bust on the other side. But if you gradually build, you're much more likely to be able to maintain long term.
Yeah, and like taking that rest week is really important, but then you've got to get back on it, because it's such a habit thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's habit. It is building up habit. That's one of my keys to coaching as well. Is I will always say it's gradual consistency and habit. And there is no secret to coaching. There's no secret to training. They're just building blocks that if you adhere to, you will smash it. And you will have setbacks, but the setbacks won't be as big as if you don't adhere to the main training rules. Really.
Yeah.
All coaches really are just sounding boards, with a bit of knowledge and background, and they're hopefully you build a good relationship with them, and they're just sounding boards for you, and they try and keep you on the straight and narrow.
Yeah. So Karma Yogi said fatigue setting in and just lack of focus now. So I think that is about
have your rest week. Yeah, like Mary said, take a recovery week, and you can call it that. It doesn't matter then if your volume goes down. That is a psychological recovery week, so that you can go again the week after.
Yeah.
Right. Poor Alex. Yeah, he's saying that it is the worst. Felipe, if you're completely out of shape, what do you work first? Aerobic or anaerobic capacity? Long runs or tempo? Aerobic all day long. In my opinion, I actually think that anaerobic and tempo runs are much more aggressive on the body. So although that you can do them in a shorter period of time, you haven't got the thing underneath to be able to do them. So that tends to be when the injuries come. It tends to be when people don't get in it for the long term. Build an aerobic base. Literally do a beginner to 5K program, like on my channel or there's loads out there. If you do a beginner to 5K and it starts with a lot of walk run, I mean, the feedback I tend to get from the beginner to 5K is pretty solid, that it works. It's since lockdown, it's had a lot of views, and I think people are like really trying to getting involved. So if you're someone that's found the channel from the beginner to 5K program, give me a shout out, let me know. Okay, Jordan, hi mate, how you doing? And oh, good. I'm really glad that these live shows are helpful. I think my future idea is that we bring more of people in, so Mary or other people that I can bounce off of and get their side of things as well.
So Mark says that he's almost
just
at
about
the end
to finish
of
the 5K program. 2 runs away.
When should he start the 10K?
Okay, so first of all, how has the program gone? Has it gone all right? And then secondly, I don't think that there is any harm in either moving to 10K or hanging around. I would say the jump from 10K to half marathon is bigger, and maybe you hang around 10K for a while.
Yeah, I would think it's like how you feel. Like if you're enjoying feeling good at 5K, then in my humble opinion, I would say keep enjoying it, because that's what you've got to hold on to. Sometimes it's nice, like I'm doing at the moment, is just running to enjoy it and just doing distances that I feel comfortable with and not having to push myself. And I'm nearly ready now to set a new goal.
Yes.
But at the moment, I'm just enjoying.
Sunday. Watch Sunday. Mary will have set her goal by then. That's the plan. So Mary's resetting her goals for Sunday. That's what the video is about.
Yeah. But move on when you feel ready. Like if you feel a bit bored and your body, you feel like you're ready to get onto the next level, then go for it.
Yes. Yes. I agree. Up to 10K.
Advice. Yeah. But that's what the question was.
Yeah, I think once you get to 10K, hang around a bit, spend a while, a year or two, just running 10s, 5s, building. Half marathon is a step, and then marathon is another step. So some good stuff. Thanks for doing this. Now with club runs happening virtually, your live chats help a lot. Oh, good. Well, I'm really glad. And also, I made a mistake last week. Are you laughing that I said I'm really great?
Yeah.
I'm really great. Okay? Just so that you know, this guy's great. Actually, I wanted to say that I'm not so great because I got my email address wrong last week. I'm telling everyone it's thismessyhappy@gmail.co.uk. It is not. It is thismessyhappy@gmail.com. So if you want to join our Discord group, which has not started yet because, of course, I've been injured the last week, over the next week, I'll be putting out a small training schedule of when people can join me on a ride or run if they want to. But you need to give me an email first, and I can send you that link. I don't want to put it out there on social media because of the amount of I teach pupils and things like that. I want it to be to people that are over 18 and not the pupils that I teach, because that would just be weird. Any questions?
Do you think we should open the curtains because the light? Yeah,
if you want to. Look, we closed the curtains to the side because the sun was pouring in. Okay, yeah, that's better. You were training for the Manchester Marathon and it got cancelled. Hoping the marathon happens as per new schedule ended. That's too much. Come on, Mary. There's no lighting expert. Yeah, me too. I mean, I am desperately clinging to the New York Marathon, as are you. We're really, really hoping for it. And the London Marathon, I'm not so bothered about personally. I'd rather actually do it on the day that Mary does it also, which will be next year, is the hope.
But I don't think they'll open up new entries. I think all the people that got in this year will just do it next year, and then I'd have to apply for the one after.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Franny, hello. Should you trust Garmin plans? Your goal is to do a sub 2 half. Your PB is 2:12. Thanks for the response. I don't know. I think it's whatever you're comfortable with. I would say this, but I think my half marathon plans are strike a good balance of strength and conditioning and running every other day and playing it smart rather than training hard. I know some plans out there get you running 5-6 days a week, which, I'm an experienced runner. I've run ultras. My body can't deal with that. And some people can. Lucky was going to swear, but some people can deal with that. I can't. So mine strikes a balance. But a Garmin one, I'm sure would be absolutely fine. I'm sure most of the plans out there within reason are sensible and would be good to do. Alex, You think New York will get pushed to next year as well?
I was thinking that as well, because it's like 50,000 people or maybe more.
Yeah.
And yeah, which means we have to come back again.
Yeah, and we just got to hope that the holiday dates kind of fall right, and that's as Winona's suffering the same problem with the Dublin Marathon. So Winona did the 4x4 by 48 ish last week, but
Wow.
Did you do Winona? Did you do 5x5 by 48 or something like that? It was slightly different numbers, but you were doing this in essence the same thing as Alex did, the 4x4 by 48. Rob finds 3 to 4 days a week running enough for him. Yeah, absolutely. Certainly for me.
And when
3
I've
days.
done more, that is when I've got injured.
How would you compare the Seville Marathon to any other marathons that you've done? So I've done 4 marathons, and actually I loved the Seville Marathon. I loved it. I loved the city. I loved the vibe. The weather was perfect. I mean, we got very lucky.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only marathon I've done, but it was amazing.
So how would you compare to the...
it was amazing. It was the best one I've done.
It was Mary's favourite she's ever done. So, yeah, it was great. I would recommend it, and it's fast as. Like,
it's flat.
If I wasn't injured, I would have gone all guns blazing. I mean, it's fast, so it's worth it.
Yeah.
Matt,
I'd like to do it again.
Oh, Matt's Boston's been moved to September, but I have my doubts for all marathons this year, Matt, if I'm honest. Vanessa, it's nice to leave your stopwatch at home and enjoy your run and the scenery. That's true as well.
Yeah.
But then, if it's not recorded, did it ever happen?
You didn't.
I know, I'm joking. That was a joke. I say it to Mary a lot. So Mary comes back and she's like, "Oh, I stopped and forgot to start it. So that it says I ran 8K, but I ran 10." I was like, "Yeah, but your legs know you ran 10."
Yeah, it is annoying, but that's why I think it's healthy for you to not take your watch sometimes, so that you're not
train yourself to not. Yeah.
And because I get really competitive with myself, so I have done that before, and it's good because you remember why you like running, just for the
love of running.
Yeah.
So we'll just do a couple more because we've got to have our meatballs, of course, obviously. And I have another Zoom with all of my boys at 8 o'clock.
I think some of the smaller races might be on. I think it's the big ones that are unlikely, but like local races, or even they're saying the Great North Run, Manchester. Yeah, they might.
Yeah, they may well do. I mean, it's after summer, and I mean, you just don't know, do you? I mean, we'll have to see. Yeah. So Mike says, if you want to do an Ironman, can I take the pace of the swim, bike and run and apply that to like sprint and shorter triathlons and use those as small brick workouts to the Ironman? No, I wouldn't. Oh, so hang on. So you're saying take the pace that you would do an Ironman swim, bike and run and apply it to sprint distances as combined workouts like bricks. Is that what you're saying? Because you just don't need intensity in an Ironman in any way. You're looking at 10 plus hours of exercise. I just don't think there needs to be intensity in your training at all for Ironman. There's validity for a bit of tempo running and things like that in marathon training, but actually for Ironman, genuinely, if you're a finisher, if you're not competing at the spiky, pointy end, I really think if you want to play that averages game and keep yourself uninjured as well, then a lack of intensity is where you need to be. It's difficult for people, but I think that's my opinion. I certainly didn't do any intensity for Ironman Copenhagen training at all. Just trying to pile in the distance. A couple more. So foot's good, thank you. Yeah, much better. I've got a compression thing on it that helps with plantar fasciitis, and it really has helped.
Phew.
Yeah, Mary I was taking Mary to a dark place there for a little while. So intensity for a 50 miler, what in terms of your training, Alex? Again, 50 miles run, I personally don't believe you need any type of intensity whatsoever.
But hang on. Also, I was thinking what you would say is you don't want to spend hours and hours and hours running, because that's just like so much wear and tear. So you might have some shorter sessions because you can achieve more in a shorter, more intense session now and again.
Yeah, Yeah, that's a tough one. It depends on what you want out of it. You know, if you want to run a 50 miler at a certain speed, then you probably do need to at least do some tempo runs and get used to running at that speed. But yes, in my marathon training plan, there is one interval session a week just to keep it a bit spicy, and reduce the overall volume.
Time on your legs.
Yeah. So there is a place for that, but not much, really not much, because of what it does to your body after that session. It can blow out a few days if you go too hard, you know. And you want to be gradually consistent, as always. Yeah, 80-20, you're right, Alex. You know, like we say, 80-20. I am at the moment 100-0 in terms of aerobic, anaerobic, but there will come my time where I will be maybe 70-30, so it'll balance out as 80-20 over the long term.
A little spice.
Yeah. Right, we've got to go. We've got meatballs to eat balls. A little rhyme there. I hope you liked Coach on the Couch, which is perhaps my new way of doing it. Coach on the Couch. You like it? No? Okay, just maybe not. And we hope to see you on Sunday, where we will be talking about Mary and goals and setting and where she's at with her training, so that you get a break from me, basically. One more. Oh, no questions. Just wanted to say you've really helped getting into running. Oh, brilliant. Well, thank
awesome.
you. That's so nice of you to say. And that's what we're here for. We're just trying to help spread the love and build a community. And I hope everyone's having a really lovely day. And we'll see you on Sunday. Yeah?
Yeah.
Say goodbye, Winnie. See you later.
Bye.